So a few years ago, I thought I had everything figured out until I lost everything. First, I lost my job, and I started an entrepreneur journey and I lost my business. Subsequently, all my money. But honestly, I needed to because what I found in that loss was my true self. See, I used to chase money like my life depended on it. I was a workaholic. I always had 2 to 3 jobs at a time, and then I was laid off. And I started my entrepreneur journey and I lost my business. That made me $30,000 in the first year. And I lost it all just as fast. But the biggest lesson was it was never about the money. And I'm still learning that. And I'm documenting it in real time. If you're stressing about money, questioning your purpose, trying to build something from nothing, you're not alone. And whether you're broke, rebuilding, rebranding, or just chasing a dream, this one's for you. If this sounds interesting to you, please keep watching. Usually how my videos go is I explain some of my stories and my experiences and how I got to the realizations and the lessons that I've learned. And then I give kind of generalized advice towards the end. So stick around because my hope is by the end of this video, you're able to relate to it or apply it to your own unique situation. And look, I'm not here to pretend like I know everything. I'm not a financial coach or a guru or some overnight success story. I'm someone that's still learning and still stumbling and still growing. And today I just want to share what I've learned so far because I used to chase money and it got me nowhere. Every time I got it, I lost it just as quickly. And it always felt like this desperate grasp or this never-ending hustle. And yet it never felt secure. I used to blow through money like it grew on trees, eating out every night, buying new clothes just to avoid doing laundry. I was always spending like I was always going to have it until I didn't. But losing everything humbled me. And I thank God that it did. Because if I just kept living like that, trying to chase stuff just to fill a void, I never would have found the version of me that I love today. I learned that God was preparing me. And He was preparing me to be more appreciative of money. So that when I do receive it, I'm not taking advantage of it. He needed to see that I know the true value of life and of myself, and to know that money doesn't buy happiness. So a few years ago, I made my first $30,000 online, and I'll tell you how I lost it just as quickly. Because I was chasing money, not meaning. I was still learning, how to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew that I needed to make money and I needed to make money fast. So anything that I did wasn't really fulfilling. You see, back then I didn't breathe unless it brought in cash or had the potential to bring in cash. I was consumed with having zero income and just trying to make something of myself, trying to prove everyone wrong. But I was also trying to drown out my own fear and my own self-doubt by throwing myself into everything. Since losing my job, I realized that I had this burning desire to build something for myself, so I went all in. No roadmap, no mentor, just hunger and hustle and YouTube University. I tried everything: e-commerce, digital products, print on demand, Etsy, Shopify, Redbubble, merch, Facebook Marketplace, TikTok, designing my own websites, designing websites for other people, making logos, photo editing, product mock-ups, you name it. And you know what? Not every business idea worked. Most of them didn't. But each one taught me something that I couldn't have learned any other way. A new skill, a new mindset, a lesson in failure. And through all of that chaos, I realized that I had to be humbled. I had to feel that fear and that panic. I had to learn to lose things. I had to learn to recycle things and to only spend money on absolute necessities or bills, not be able to go out to eat, not be able to take vacations. I learned more at rock bottom than mountaintops would have ever taught me. I used to spend money like it would never run out, so when I lost it all, my job and my businesses, my financial cushion, I had to learn to live way below my means. Some days I was literally collecting change in the parking lots just to buy something to drink. And that's when I realized that God stripped away all of the material things so that I could find out who I actually was. I could find out that I don't need half the stuff that I think I do. And when you finally realize that you can't take any of that stuff with you when you're gone, your priorities change real fast. I never even slowed down enough to ask why I wanted money in the first place. I was taking advantage of money when I had it, so why would God want to give me more? I had to be humbled to a point where my foundation totally crumbled, and I had to be rebuilt from the ground up. And I'm still in that process today. But I realized that impact is greater than income. When you're making an impact, like a true impact in somebody else's life, that feeling is priceless. And the greatest wealth is peace within yourself. I started appreciating the small things, a walk in nature, the joy of making somebody smile without spending a dime. I started making homemade gifts when I couldn't afford to buy anybody anything. And honestly, that taught me way more than any Amazon package ever could. Now when I give with purpose. I give with intent. I give something that touches the heart, something that solves a problem, or an experience that creates a memory, not just something that's going to collect dust. And for the first time these days, I'm not chasing money. I'm healing. I'm creating. I'm showing up as my full, authentic self on this channel in real time. Because I know that I'm not the only one learning as they go. And maybe somebody else will hear this and realize that they're not alone either. But what I learned is there's no such thing as easy money. But when you change your mindset, you make money easier. See, a common belief is that money is hard. But when you change your mindset, it becomes easier to think about, becomes easier to spend, easier to receive. And I had to unlearn a lot of other beliefs around money, like money is the root of all evil. That's a common one. Or that rich people must have scammed or stolen to get what they have. Or if I spend money, I'll lose it and I'll never ever get it back. These were some of the biggest beliefs that I had around money. So I'm wondering, what are yours? Drop them in the comments below. What are your biggest beliefs around money that maybe you have to change the way that you think, or is a common phrase that you've heard all your life? So unlearning these beliefs starts with gratitude for literally every penny. And I've said this before. But if I find like a quarter in a parking lot, I thank God for that little blessing. Because how can I expect Him to bless me with more if I don't show appreciation for the little things? And realizing that when you let go of money, like paying a bill, it's flow, not loss. I even had to reframe the way that I started paying bills, because instead of resenting it, now I say thank you that I can pay it. And that energy shift, it matters because it keeps you in flow and not fear. Staying present in the present moment has also stopped me from hoarding money out of fear. Because when you're hoarding it, you're living in a place of lack. But when you trust that more can come tomorrow, when you believe that you're capable of creating money, it shifts everything. Because when you live in lack, you just guarantee more lack. But when you believe that more is coming, it usually does. Also, money doesn't always come from hard work. It can show up in a million different ways. And I've experienced it. Random checks in the mail, forgotten cash in an old jacket, loose change in the most unexpected places. And yeah, it really does start that small. Don't wait to celebrate money only when it's a big amount. Because that's how you build a relationship of trust and gratitude with money and with God. One of the biggest mindset shifts, though, was going from feeling helpless to helpful. I used to tell myself all of the reasons why I couldn't win, why I couldn't get rich, why I couldn't succeed. But none of those stories serve me now. I had to stop playing victim and start rewriting my story. So here's an analogy that I came up with that has helped me the most. You guys know I'm a sucker for metaphors and analogies. But think of making money from your dream or your purpose like baking a cake. The cake itself is your foundation, your mindset, your beliefs, your values, your self-worth. It takes time, energy, and deep healing to bake that cake right. And then you gotta let it cool before you ice it. Can't rush it. And then the icing, that's your purpose. That's your dream. Maybe it's your business idea. And you try different flavors. You learn what works, what doesn't. And that's a process in itself, right? And then you scrape it off and try again. Now the monetization part, that's the cherry on top. But if all you chase is that cherry, you've got no cake. The cherry will come naturally when you've built a solid cake, when you're in alignment, when you're helping others, when you're consistent and you're practicing your craft, even when nobody's watching, or nobody's buying, or nobody's listening. Just like internships are unpaid, or musicians write hundreds of songs before they blow up, it's all about the process, not the prize. You have to put in the experience hours. You have to let it be messy sometimes. You may even have to fail multiple times. I know I did, but if you keep showing up and you keep refining and you keep learning, the cherry will come. And when it does, this time, it won't define you because you already know who you are, whether you have money or not. And look, I'm still learning. I don't have it all figured out. But I believe that part of the reason that I'm here is to document this journey in real time, to be honest and authentic about my stories, and to maybe spark something in you too. So if you're in a season where you feel like everything is just falling apart, your finances, your plans, your business ideas, your confidence, I just want you to know that maybe it's not falling apart. Maybe you're just falling into alignment. I had to lose my businesses to get to where I am today, making these videos here on YouTube. Like if you told me 2 to 3 years ago this is what I'd be doing, I would have laughed. I would have totally laughed in your face. So maybe you're being stripped of what isn't meant for you so you can finally build what is. And that foundation, your cake that you're building right now, that's the part that most people never see. But it's what makes the whole thing unshakable. So now these days I'm working 2 jobs. I'm building this channel and all of my other social medias, barely living paycheck to paycheck. But I've never felt more aligned, more at peace, and quite frankly, more proud of myself. This time I'm not rushing the process. I'm baking the cake right, because I know that when the cake and the icing are solid, I just know that the cherry on top is coming. And when it does, it'll be earned, and it'll be aligned, and it'll be sustained. If this video resonated with you, please hit the like button, subscribe for more. I'm also going to link 2 other videos at the end of this video if you haven't watched them yet. I dive more into my story around this time in both of those videos. So if you're interested, go check them out. And until next time, stay kind to yourself. I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you. I'll see you in the next one.